West for a Big Ten showdown. This afternoon from TCF Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, with a record of 4-6, hosts Illinois. And we are hoping it might get above 20 degrees, as it is certainly football weather, as you might expect in Minnesota for this one. I'm Eamon McEnany, happy to be joined by the former Notre Dame linebacker Rocky Boiman. And Rocky, both of these teams going through tumultuous campaigns, but still playing with passion. And for Illinois, the leader is the quarterback.
Great arm, great size, a bit of an enigma right now, Eamon. On one hand, he leads the Big Ten in completions per game, has just 4 interceptions. But then on the other side, Illinois has not scored a touchdown in 2 of their last 3 games, needs that production to turn into points. And then for Minnesota, their freshman running back, Shannon Brooks. Quote from him, "I try to run through people." And Eamon, a game like this, 20-degree temperatures, Minnesota would love the ball to run the ball well with Shannon Brooks.
And Rodney Smith expected not to play after missing last week with that ankle injury, so Shannon Brooks will get a heavy load this afternoon. Illinois won the toss. The Fighting Illini deferred. So Minnesota will receive. The visitors from Champaign in the all-white uniforms with the orange numbers. The Gophers in the maroon pants, maroon numbers, and gold jerseys. Zaleski will kick it off for Illinois. May and Harden back for Minnesota. This will be May from the 6. KJ May across the 20. Across the 25, pushes the pile out near the 30, which is where Mitch Leidner and Minnesota will go to work to start off this ball game.
And Mitch Leidner has really taken some great steps forward the last couple weeks. The key, I think, has been their offensive line. Their offensive line is gelled a little bit. They've been banged up most of the season. But right now you see Mitch Leidner stepping into those throws and really throwing the ball well.
And we will expect to see Demery Croft in a separate package as well. More of a jet sweep package to spread out the defense. But we start now with a one-back set. Shannon Brooks, the freshman out of Jasper, Georgia. And he gets it on the first play. Short gain out to the 31. Give him 2.
Shannon Brooks coming off a performance last week, Big Ten Freshman of the Week, in a loss at Iowa, the second time he's had that award this year.
His breakout performance came earlier in the season against Purdue when he ran for 176 yards on 17 carries. Now twins to the right. Brooks stays in the backfield. Here's May on the jet sweep, gets the first down. So we are expecting a heavy dose of that this afternoon.
Absolutely, as we just talked about it, Eamon. The front 4, the front 7 for Illinois, some big body guys. Why try to just pound it against that brick wall? Get those big body guys moving sideways. A lot of jet sweeps. KJ May, again, he's the guy that makes guys miss in space. I expect him to get a lot of plays today.
I love the line from Matt Limegrover, the offense coordinator for Minnesota, saying when you watch Illinois on film, the first 20 plays of that defense makes you want to curl up into a ball knowing you have to face them. So now they go to a 2-back set. Miles Thomas, the fullback. Play fake, Leidner rolling out. Checks down to May, incomplete. He got popped by Taylor Barton, number 3.
I think that's one thing we're going to see too, getting Mitch Leidner outside the pocket. He's taken a lot of hits so far this year, but here's his go-to guy, KJ May. They stack the wide receivers, try to get him a free release. Those are the kind of passes they got to complete today.
May last week, 7 catches for 106 yards against Iowa. Now 2 backs again. And Leidner keeps it. A 1-yard gain, so that'll be 3rd and long.
And that's something I don't think Minnesota wants to see Mitch Leidner do too much. He can pick up yards with his legs, but again, also he's pretty banged up. I don't think they want a steady diet of him running the ball. 3rd and 9 here, Eamon. I expect KJ May to be a part of the conversation here. Also Drew Wolatarski, he's been really good here the last couple weeks at the top of your screen. Illinois in man-to-man coverage here.
4 on the play clock. Leidner with time, throws high, looking for Lingen.
He tries to find his big body tight end, Brandon Lingen. He's really had a breakout game last week versus Iowa. Throw just a little bit high to a 6'5" tight end.
So that'll bring out Peter Mortel to punt. D'Angelo Bentley, always a threat in the return game for Illinois, standing at the 15. Bentley makes the fair catch signal at the 14. So a good punt by Mortel, no return. 42-yard punt, no return. And now we get a look at Wes Lunt and this Illini offense for the first time this afternoon.
And Wes Lunt, he's a guy, he started his career off at Oklahoma State in that, you know, tempo, just throw the ball around the park. Now he's in more of this pro-style offense. A lot of checks he has to go through. He has to be really good at the line of scrimmage. The key for him today, coaches told us, he's going to control the running game. If he sees the numbers in the box he wants, it's his responsibility to check to the run. If he doesn't see it, shoot it out for the pass.
Tim Clary, now we see 3 backs in the backfield here for Illinois. Nathan Eckert now moves over to the H-back position, and here's Ferguson looking to bounce it to the outside, still on his feet, across the 20, across the 25, out across the 30. So a good run for the senior out of Naperville, Illinois, finally brought down by Kunle Ayinde. But that is the burst he offers this program.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things you'll see all day from Illinois. They start off in a formation, lots of checks and motions and switch, but you see, again, the burst from Josh Ferguson. He's going to have to carry the weight today with Keyshawn Vaughn out of the game.
He now passes Keith Jones for 3rd place on all-purpose yards with that 16-yard run. 4,200 career yards, and they go right back to him. Still in bounds, now knocked out of bounds. So he is a versatile threat in the passing game as well.
Yeah, they call him the Swiss Army knife. They get it to him in the run, get it to him in the pass, just find a way to get the ball to Josh Ferguson. Again, lots of smoke and mirrors. This time a little sets up a bit of a screen, gets the blocking downfield, and picks up a 1st down.
Went out of bounds at the 41 as they back everyone up. One of the biggest differences in these two teams this year, the continuity in the offensive line play. Illinois has had the same starting unit for pretty much the whole season, while Minnesota, completely different story. So now, and he has it. Has an alley inside the 30, brought down by Body Calhoun.
We're starting to see the rotation of these running backs. Josh Ferguson has been very productive. Now Kendrick Foster getting in on the action. Again, a cold day, Eamon. You don't want to be chucking the ball around the park 65 times. You've got to be able to control the ground game. Both these teams trying to establish it.
2nd and 3 from the 28 after the gain of 7. Back to Foster, makes the first man miss, gets the 1st down, down inside the 20. Brought down by Antonio Johnson. 10-yard pickup.
Nice job by Foster, a little zone run there, sees the daylight off the left, comes back to it.
So a very impressive drive by Illinois right now. Take a look at their season numbers.
That rush yards per game, Eamon, I think that's 2nd to last in the Big Ten. They want to get that going today.
Lunt on the screen to Ferguson, gets a block. Now he's in trouble, and he goes down at about the 16. But well read by Jack Lynn in the Gopher defense. Pick up 2, so that'll bring up 3rd and 6. And do you go back to number 6 on 3rd and 6?
I think, you know me, Eamon. I think when a guy's hot and he's in the flow of the game, I think you go back to him. The thing, though, with going with Ferguson all game, though, is last week with Keyshawn Vaughn out, Ferguson toward the end of the game started to get worn down. So you got to be careful with that. But here in the red zone, which is an area where Illinois struggled mightily, I say you keep him involved.
Play fake to Ferguson. Now they're going to go back to him. He gets a, no, Lynn stays on his feet. So Lynn, good job recovering after he got blocked. Looked like one of the offensive linemen out on the perimeter took care of Lynn, clearing a space for Ferguson, but number 50 was able to get back up and make the tackle.
Just a nice job of patience. He didn't try to do too much out there. A little screen pass, let his lineman get downfield. Got a few yards, setting up now a 3rd and 5.
Trips to the left. As the backfield's empty, Ferguson in the slot to the right. Minnesota showing pressure. Lunt with time, into the end zone, has a man, touchdown, Illinois. Malik Turner, 13 yards in the Illini. Strike first.
Wayman Malik Turner had that big third down catch earlier in the drive, and now comes back with the touchdown. We talked about the high ceiling he has. The best football is ahead of him for the true sophomore. This time gets that matchup he wants. Brian Bodie Calhoun was on the slot, just beat him to the corner.
And now it looks like they're going for two as now they bring everyone back together as Ryan Frayne will set up to be the holder. Zaleski on for the extra point. And it's good. So an impressive drive capped off by the reception by Malik Turner. Lunt has the hot hand, already 9 for 10, and now he adds a touchdown, 77 yards in 11 plays. Illinois on the road gets the first touchdown. They lead 7-0. Malik Turner with his third touchdown grab of the season. Rocky, how'd he get open?
Well, I'll tell you what, we talked about Minnesota's defensive secondary being banged up, and they're going after him right now, spreading them out, get them out isolated on an island. Then after that was just a great throw by Wes Lunt to the corner, hitting Malik Turner.
And you talked about some of the key injuries forcing Malik Turner into more duty maybe than they expected, but Mike Dudek, Justin Hardy, Tyler White.
And again, a guy like Malik Turner is going to have to continue to step up with so many defenses focusing on Geronimo Allison and how productive he's been. It's going to be Malik Turner. It's going to be Desmond Kane. Those guys are going to be key here today.
Zaleski on to kick it off. May and Harden back to receive. Harden from the 7. Cannot escape a tackle. Goes down at about the 27. Now Brooks in the backfield with Leidner. Leidner keeps it. Leidner's got the first down and then some into Illinois territory. Mitch Leidner with a big run. Brought down by Fedulum, but not after a 33-yard pickup by Mitch Leidner.
Eamon, he's hurt, he's banged up, he's been that way all year, but look, if the run is there, a perfect read, he's going to take it. He's got to put this team on his back and make plays as this team is trying to fight, scratch, and claw and possibly get the 6 wins to get to a bowl.
Now they give it to Brooks. He's running hard, runs over a tackle, still on his feet. Down to the 25, and that is the toughness he's been showing since that Purdue game.
If you love old school football, you love Shannon Brooks. As you said, Eamon, just runs downhill. From the moment he takes out of his set, he is up to full speed and runs behind those pads. A guy who runs like that, Eamon, the offensive line just absolutely loves blocking for him. They feed off that energy. They don't want to block as much for guys that go out of bounds. Shannon Brooks ain't going out of bounds today.
Out of Jasper, Georgia. Stays out there. And he has it again. No, it's Leidner. Another good decision by the quarterback. Gets inside the 20. Pick up a 7. Taylor Barton to tackle, but a different game plan here for the Gophers on this drive.
I'm saying it's good. They're keeping them off balance here. The run before, they get Shannon Brooks up the middle. That defense starts to close down and tighten up. A great read by Leidner, keeping it and hitting the perimeter.
Brings up a 2nd and 3.
Now he's out at a wildcat formation, Eamon.
Yep. Brooks keeps it, still on his feet, bouncing off one tackler, a second tackler, 1st and goal now for Minnesota. But there's a flag on the play. I wonder if illegal formation on the Wildcat. Flag nowhere near the play.
Defense, number 6. That penalty is declined. Play resulted in a 1st down.
Matt Limegrover, their offensive coordinator, said we might see a few different things. We'll see some Demery Croft, we'll see some Wildcat, and here the direct snap to Shannon Brooks. And a good job of reading the hole and picking up some nice yards.
Now they go back to the pistol with Brooks behind Leidner. Illinois showing pressure off the edge. Brooks has, nope, Leidner again. He's getting me on that. He's
doing a good job of reading that fake. Absolutely right.
Fedulum with another tackle. Clayton Fedulum leads the Big Ten in tackles coming in to action this week. So that brings up 2nd and goal.
And with Minnesota committed to this ground game, Clayton Fedulum is going to have to be huge. He's been all year, done a great job stopping the run. And it looks like Minnesota are going to try to keep chipping away on the ground.
That 33-yard run by Leidner that sparked this drive was his longest of the season. Now it's Brooks. Makes a nice cut, a second cut, and he scores. His 5th rushing touchdown of the season, 5 yards, and the Gophers respond.
Amy, he gets up to speed so quick, and then from there, the ability, the vision to see the hole to the outside, punches it in, and you know, Illinois with that vaunted front 7 they have right now, Minnesota's not scared.
Santoso on for the extra point. And it's good. So Minnesota changes things up. Leidner more of a runner than a thrower, and then the freshman out of Georgia with a strong drive as well. He goes 5 yards for the game-tying touchdown. Tracy Clay's ball club answers with an impressive drive. Most of the damage done on the ground by both Mitch Leidner and Shannon Brooks, all tied up at 7.
Absolutely, Shannon Brooks. You know, as we talked about last year, this kid was playing high school football. It's hard to believe now he is making plays in the Big Ten. You just got to hope a guy like that doesn't get worn down. He used to play in those 9-10 game seasons in high school, but boy, has he been a spark plug for this offense here at Minnesota.
Santoso, low line drive kick, and it goes out of bounds. So not what Minnesota was looking for there as they try to keep it away from Bentley. Trips to the left on 1st and 10. Off the play fake on the slant. Caught by Turner. 1st down. Tackled by Duke McGee. He was a math major when he went to Kansas and Kansas State.
He was a math major, and he talked about that, you know, the mathematics of football. You know, this team does this, and you respond by doing that. He also said the benefit of not playing college football is that you're not stuck into one thing, right? You're not stuck into doing it one way. Illinois is now getting Malik Turner back involved.
Could have used him last night to figure out the tip at Matt's restaurant after you went with 3 Juicy Lucy's. It was knocked off our per diem.
For good.
Now off the play fake, rolling to the right. Over the middle. Caught by Kane. McGee on the coverage again, but another 1st down in the passing game for Illinois. 15-yard pickup by the freshman out of Delray Beach, Florida.
Bill Cubitt told us this week, I mean, he has the it factor, the same thing that Mike Dudek had. Special kid, true freshman.
You talk about Brooks now playing games, you know, after he was just in high school last year. Here's a guy who not that long ago thought he was going to be a defensive back. Now they go to the I formation. Clary the fullback. Ferguson, and there's a whistle. And that'll do it for the first quarter as they don't get to play off in time. Two teams looking to get to bowl eligibility here in 2015. Playing a tightly contested first quarter. A key turnover led to no points, but Malik Turner with the touchdown grab, and then Brooks answered on the other end. The second quarter from Minnesota when we return. Welcome back to Minneapolis. First quarter in the books between Illinois and Minnesota as we take a look at the campus here. With a great weekend visit to the University of Minnesota. But now the visitors from Champaign on the move. 1st and 10 from the Minnesota 37. This is Kendrick Foster. Getting pushed back at the 35. 2-yard gain.
Great job at Cody Poke filling in the hole. He's another guy, Eamon, playing with a lot of injuries. Coach told us yesterday, we asked him, what do you think about Cody Poke? He said, hey, the guy runs around, hits people. Gotta love a football player like that.
Now Ferguson in the backfield. 4 wide receivers on 2nd and 8 from the 35.
Wes Lunt in this game, Eamon, already 11 of 12. Nice job so far.
Make it 12 of 13. Nice spin move by Turner. He gets inside the 20, down to the 10. Textbook spin move after the catch by the sophomore.
Minnesota's going to have to start paying attention to Malik Turner. He is hot right now, Eamon. And again, Wes Lunt, perfect pass on the money, a great spin move, great awareness to the outside.
Faked out the freshman Keontae Harden.
And that's one thing Illini fans saying. Wes Lunt, you know, especially last week game when you watched that game versus Ohio State, he was overthrowing guys by a mile. Today, very efficient as their quarterback.
Now Nathan Eckerd lining up as the fullback in front of Ferguson. And off the play fake. Looking back to Eckerd. Brought down at the 11 by number 26, Devondre Campbell. Loss of 4, and Campbell gets better every week.
He sure does. Devondre Campbell, 6'5", 240 pounds, nice long body. I thought Lunt had the tight end for the pass in the end zone. Instead, he checked it down, and Devondre Campbell closed on it quick.
So now the loss of 4 moves it back to the 11.
You're back to that 4 wide formation, Eamon, spreading that secondary out for Minnesota.
Pressure comes up the middle. They get it to Deontay Taylor at the 5, and he is driven out of bounds by the freshman Harden. Body Calhoun also in on the play.
That's one thing. We got a banged up secondary. Guys are playing with injuries. It's cold out there. Make them tackle in space. And I think that's what Illinois is doing right now. Spreading them out, trying to, again, take advantage of that secondary that's just been dinged up all year.
3rd and goal from the 5. Twins to the left, to the short side. Lunt looking that way. Now he changes, looking for Ferguson, knocked away at the last second by Harden. The freshman out of Missouri forces a field goal attempt.
Great play by the true freshman Harden. They're trying to go to Josh Ferguson in the pass game. Harden, a great job of just closing on that football, not committing the penalty, stepping in front and knocking it down. Excellent play.
So now Zaleski on to give Illinois the lead again. Again, one of those DBs playing a lot more than they expected this year in Minnesota. Tracy Claeys.
Yeah, he talked about Keontae Harden yesterday. He's one of those young guys of the future here.
23-yard attempt for Zaleski. And it's good. So Illinois goes 61 yards in 7 plays and regains the lead on the 23-yard field goal by the senior out of Orland Park, Illinois.
Get a look at Bill Cubitt there. And we talked about it earlier, but his argument is, look, continuity for this program. You bring in a new coach with a new philosophy, and then you got to teach players new ways of doing things. His idea is, look, let's keep this thing going here. We've fought, we've scratched, we've clawed, we've won 5 games this year with some tough circumstances to start a season off. Let's keep it going.
He certainly hasn't acted like an interim coach, going out to the quad on Thursday to drum up some support for the program, get the students fired up to come out to Memorial Stadium and support the team. And every coach that they play against says, man, your team plays with passion. Now they have the lead, but Harden off the stop in this end zone comes up with a big-time return across the 40. So Harden doing it all over the place this afternoon. 32-yard return. This is Brooks, patiently waiting for a block that doesn't come. 2-yard gain. Fedulum with another tackle.
And when you watch Shannon Brooks, he's a guy, his legs don't stop. Even some of the better backs in college football, some of the better backs in the league, they get contact, their legs will stop. Shannon Brooks' legs just continue to churn. That's why even just a freshman, he's so exciting to watch.
Picks up 2. Now 4 wide receivers. Motion from Wolotarski. Big step off the edge. Brooks can't bring it in as there was pressure coming from Carroll Phillips.
We talked about that offensive line for Minnesota, banged up. They've switched some guys around. Foster Bush, the left tackle, and Carroll Phillips can really get going off that edge. Gets to Mitch Leidner as he's releasing that ball.
Certainly timed that snap count. He was ready to go, so it brings up a 3rd and long for Leidner, who's just 1 of 6 in the passing game.
Really like for Leidner to find his tight end again, 86.
Down the seam instead, he throws into tight coverage, but catch is made by May. Eaton Spence was all over him, but May makes the grab for the 1st down.
You know, and Tim Banks, Illinois' defensive coordinator, told us this week, look, Mitch Leidner will throw a ball into a tight window, and that certainly was a tight window there. Eaton Spence all over KJ May, but a great job of ball placement, picking up a 1st down.
11-yard pickup by the senior out of Mobile, Alabama. He'll probably run the Wildcat with May. He ran the single wing quarterback in high school, but now regular formation with Leidner. Off the jet sweep fake, Leidner's going to keep it himself. 3-yard pickup.
Mitch, I don't know if you want to be running inside there with all those guys.
I was going to ask you, I thought they said they wanted to protect him a little bit.
I was going to say, as banged up as he is, I understand the runs of the perimeter, but right up the middle and with Jihad Ward and Rob Bain, those big guys they have there for Illinois' defense, I don't know about that one.
They told us they had a separate package ready to go for Demery Croft, the freshman out of Rockford, Illinois, but we haven't seen it yet. Now Brooks on 2nd and 7. All the way out, catch made by Rashad Still. Tackle by Spence. 5-yard pickup.
How about Rashad Still? You mentioned a freshman, didn't actually start playing football until 3 years ago. Was a basketball guy, was a track guy. And he's been a guy here at Minnesota so far. He's been up, he's been down, had a big game versus Ohio State. Then he'll disappear a little bit, but they're trying to get him going here tonight.
Now 3rd and short, Thomas the fullback. They go to Brooks and he breaks through. He could go, 1 man to beat. Shannon Brooks will go the distance. 38 yards. His 2nd touchdown of the ball game.
Eamon, with the way Shannon Brooks is running the football today, I thought a great job of going to him on this play, but he sees the seam and then just hits it all the way to the house. The freshman running back coming up huge already in this game.
Extra point is good. And he picked up a couple of key blocks.
He really did. I thought in that situation, 3rd and 4, give the ball to Shannon Brooks. Good job of blocking on that front. They're not scared of that Illinois front 7 at all. And you see the acceleration through the hole and then outrunning defensive backs all the way to the end zone.
Not the longest touchdown run of his career earlier this year, 71 yards.
See Jonah Persig, the right tackle, downfield on the 2nd level. And they love blocking for a guy like that, Eamon, a guy who runs as hard as Shannon Brooks does. That offensive line, they get fired up. They want to finish their blocks.
Short kick. Nice move by Bentley out to the 23.
Got to find Allison here at some point.
And they swing it out. That's Turner across the 40.
And then what I'd like to see them do with Geronimo Allison is move him around a lot.
3. Ferguson, the lone back, 2 wide receivers. Five on the play clock. Ferguson turns the corner. Gopher fans want to hold, no flag. Duke McGee forces him out of bounds, but he picks up the 1st down.
It certainly looked like a hold. Left tackle Austin Smith looked like he got the left arm wrapped around Devondre Campbell. As we take a look at it here. Little stretch play at the outside. Yeah, I think Illinois got away.
Linebackers are always looking for
They're always holding, Eamon. They're always holding every play.
I formation now with Eckert, the fullback. Wide receiver screen out to Desmond Kane, and he gets hit hard by Antonio Johnson and Devondre Campbell. 5-yard pickup.
In multiple ways, they're trying to get Desmond Kane involved in this game. We've seen him on the slant routes and here on the bubbles, the swing passes. So good when he catches the football, even just being a true freshman.
Elsewhere in the Big Ten right now, Iowa leads Purdue 20-7. Michigan on the road against Penn State leads 7-3. And of course, the big one coming up at 3:30 between the Spartans and the Buckeyes. Trips to the left. So Malik Turner back out there, was in motion. That pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Looked like maybe Elmore got it. 6'6", 260. He's celebrating like he got it.
And I remember yesterday, that's one thing Tracy Claeys told. He said, look, we got to make Illinois get the ball out of their hands quick with some pressure.
So now 3rd and 12. Illinois looking to cash in after the fumble recovery.
And Malik Turner, Eamon, is back in the game. Looks like to be the stack wide receiver to the bottom of your screen along with Deontay Taylor.
They need to get to the 19. Here comes pressure. Lunt does get away. What a play by Wes Lunt, but they're going to be well short of the first down. Hooked up with Ferguson when it looked like he was about to get sacked. With a 6-yard gain, and Murray makes the tackle.
Yeah, Thearon Cochran, the defensive end for Minnesota, brought the pressure, and as you said, looked like he was going down, but on his way down, was able to check it.
So they're going to send out Zaleski. He kicked a 51-yard against Middle Tennessee to win the game.
Now, one thing to think about, cold weather game, the ball doesn't travel as far, doesn't have as much air in it. This is certainly a longer field goal for a cold weather day like this.
It'll be a 44-yarder. Frayne the holder. Plenty of leg, and it's good. So a 44-yarder, and Illinois pulls within 1 on the road against Minnesota. Bill Cubitt's club gets the play by the defense with the fumble recovery, and then he gets a big-time field goal in the cold from Taylor Zaleski. Well, when you're from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and you go play college football at Minnesota, you're going to know exactly where the heater is, and you shoot. Tim's definitely staying warm. He never had to deal with this in high school.
That's right. Tim knows exactly where that bad boy is, though. You got it.
Bring one up here, please. But,
hey, Coach, when I came on a recruiting visit, you didn't tell me about this kind of weather.
That's why they bring all the recruits in August and July.
That's exactly right.
At least it's sunny and dry, unlike what's going on in Iowa. There's plenty of snow on hand for the Boilermakers and Hawkeyes, but they get the field goal from Zaleski. Now he kicks it off. Down 1. Now the wind holds it up. And here's Harden, who's had a busy first half, out to the 25. Now Leidner gets it out to Brooks, gets a block from Lingen, and then gets pushed out of bounds by Taylor Barton. So that'll bring up 3rd and manageable for Leidner. Now, if you're Illinois, do you start thinking about taking a timeout? Maybe if you get a stop here, but
shooting the ball down.
You got out of bounds, so the clock is stopped. So that'll bring up 2nd and 4. Now a tight formation with Brooks in the backfield. Off the mark, looking for Eric Carter. That throw was behind him. So now we get to 3rd down and manageable. Clock stops at 1:50 left in the half. So now, as a coordinator, this is where you earn your money. Do you throw it and risk stopping the clock?
I think right here, if you do throw, you go for a higher percentage type of throw, or especially finding a guy like Brandon Lingen, who's been pretty sure-handed, your tight end.
He's in the slot to the left. Brooks in the backfield. Pressure up the middle. Complete to May for the first down in Illinois territory. So he went to the security blanket, and as you mentioned, a high percentage throw, 12-yard pickup.
Yeah, right over the middle. It's not one of those throws you got to lace it all the way out to the numbers. Clear vision. Now Minnesota's going to run back up to the line, but a great job by, as you mentioned, his security blanket, KJ May.
Here comes pressure. Tough throw, but complete over the middle to Wolotarski. Plenty of white jerseys around that ball, but he got it through to Wolotarski for a 14-yard pickup, and those are those tight windows that Illinois knew he had no problem throwing into. And they get it to May. Big hit. Fetchlam obviously playing with a little chip on his shoulder after the flag. Arrived with bad intentions.
Yeah, he wants to make amends for that penalty. He came up with authority on that play.
May stays in bounds, so the clock continues to tick. Inside the 10, it's Brooks. Tackled by Smoot. So now you wonder if Minnesota takes a timeout. Nope, they're still going.
There's an area of the field, remember, versus Michigan a couple weeks ago. They didn't have good clock management. They need it here.
Leidner on the keeper. Does not get in. So now you would think you would take a timeout. They're looking for a clock play. You got 2 timeouts. Right back up at the line of scrimmage. Brooks in the backfield. And they clock it, so they want to hold the 2 timeouts with 1st and goal.
Yeah, see, again, this was the same area of the field as the Michigan game where they just looked like they were off a bit. I don't know why you don't call a timeout there and save yourself about 10 seconds.
We need to. Now, Minnesota might only have the 1 timeout left. So that's why they clocked it. They wanted to hold on to their final timeout. So now that makes sense. So now Brooks in the backfield. And they go. Still brings it in. Rashad Still, the true freshman. So after all that, they do run the fade to the short side.
Why not go to Rashad Still, 6'5", height advantage over the smaller cornerback in a perfect throw by Mitch Leidner. Going there right away. They want to go to the tall guy. And great job coming down with it over top of Eaton Spence.
So they go 74 yards in 14 plays. And now Santoso on for the extra point. So they get 3 extra seconds, which allows them to throw the ball. And they take advantage. And that'll do it for the first half. So Minnesota tacks on the late touchdown, and Bill Cubitt's club goes to the locker room down 21-13. Right now, let's set it to goal line here on ESPN News. It's halftime here in Minneapolis. The Gophers looking to snap a 4-game losing streak. They lead Illinois 21-13. Eamon McEnany along with Rocky Boyman. And Rocky, an entertaining first 30 minutes of football.
Absolutely.
The Gophers lead by 8 as we take a look at the first half stats for both clubs.
Absolutely. In Minnesota, the rush yards, you never would have thought that with how formidable this front 7 is for Illinois on the defensive side of the ball. I think even Minnesota's a little bit surprised by that kind of output. I look for them to continue to give the ball to Shannon Brooks here in the second half.
All right, so Illinois is going to get the ball first here to start the third quarter. What adjustments do you think Coach Cubitt and his offensive staff made?
I think they got to find a way to get Geronimo Allison involved in this game. Even if it's not lined up as the far wide receiver, put him in the slot, motion him across, do something. I know he had the fumble early in the game, but I think with his playmaking ability, 6'4", 200 pounds, move him around and find a way to get number 8 back involved in this game.
Bentley and Caleb Day back to receive the kick from Santoso. And Minnesota looking to snap a 4-game losing streak. And get Coach Clay's that elusive win. This will be Bentley, who is a big-time threat. Bounces off one pile and gets out across maybe right to the 25, which is where Lunt and the Illini will start the second half after the 22-yard return. They start off in the pistol with Ferguson behind Lunt. Twins to the left. Feels like the wind has picked up here since halftime. 5 on the play clock. It's Ferguson to the right. Nothing doing. Maybe a yard. Campbell in on the play. Cochran and Stelter as well up front for Minnesota.
You've got to give it to this defensive front for Minnesota. Steven Richardson, the big sophomore defensive tackle, Scott Eckley, both out of the game. They've had to rotate some guys in. The sophomore, Andrew Stetler, Timms, Galen Elmore, just patching that thing together, getting it going.
Back to Ferguson, this time to the left. He cuts it upfield, spins away from one man, gets the first down, still on his feet, out to the 45. Tremendous individual effort by Ferguson on the 19-yard pickup.
Great job. They pull the center on that play, and then the vision on Ferguson. The center pulls, there goes the cut, and then back across the grain. As that Minnesota defense over pursues Amon, he cuts it back across and picks up the first down.
He's now passed Howard Griffith in career rushing yards for 10th all time at Illinois. They give him a break and give it to Enyenehi on that one. 6-yard pickup.
Looks like Illinois wants to get back to basics here in the second half, running the football, giving some different looks, as we talked about all the formations, the personnel groups Illinois will use to try to get the Minnesota defense on his heels. But right now, so far, either way, it's been a run game for the Illini.
They stick with him. He's got a convoy going, and then he changes direction. He's going to be short. Poke with the tackle. And a nice patient run for 6.
Offensive line, Amon, really in this second half, pushing some guys off the line of scrimmage, getting to that second level. And then Ferguson, a good job again, cutting back across the grain as Minnesota defense is over pursues a bit.
So now Kendrick Foster in the backfield with Clary as the fullback on 3rd and short. Foster following Clary, gets tripped up behind the line of scrimmage, but breaks a tackle for the first down. Minnesota had the penetration it wanted, but Foster able to push it forward.
And Duke McGee, the safety for Minnesota, looked like he had Foster for about a 2-yard loss, but credit Foster, just a sophomore, for keeping those legs driving in the balance, spinning out and picking up a critical first down to start this second half.
So now Ferguson out there on the I formation already with 5 carries for 33 yards on this drive alone. Gets it for a 6th time to start. And what a cut! Josh Ferguson's full repertoire on display on this drive.
You know, and I understand the argument. You don't want to get him too many carries. Don't get him more down the second half. But boy, the way he's running, Amon, I'll tell you what, give the ball to number 6. Let him break some tackles. Illinois back up the line in a hurry.
10-yard pickup, and there he slips on the cut. Brought down by Duke McGee.
Josh Ferguson, we've talked about him, the Swiss Army knife, does pretty much everything for this Illini offense. Again, he's one of those guys, Amon, he's not super fast, but incredible burst. Good cuts, incredible burst. Is number 6 for the Illini.
I formation. Lunt into the corner. Complete for a touchdown. Andrew Davis.
How about
first of the season, the junior from Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Davis is normally the on-the-ball tight end, so involved in the run game, and they finally get him his first touchdown of the year. A little stick route to the corner of the end zone. Obviously, the height advantage. 6 points.
Now they'll go back to the extra point formation after Frayne lines up as a quarterback. So again, the offsides on the field goal kept the drive going for Illinois. And what a way to start the second half for the Illini. 75 yards in 14 plays for Coach Cubitt's offense. And it was a little bit of everything. Josh Ferguson and Wes Lunt finding Andrew Davis. Illinois inching closer. We're back after this. The Illini pull within 1, 21-20. So You always talk about the first drive of the third quarter being key, and score one for Coach Cubitt in the adjustment category coming out of the locker room.
Again, wearing that front down for Minnesota that's so banged up and where depth is an issue. They took advantage.
This is Harden from the 6. Gets a block from May. Breaks 3 at the 35, the 40. Into Illinois territory, still on his feet, out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So an electric return from Keontae Harden. Caleb Day forced him out of bounds, but he puts the Gophers in great field position with the 60-yard return.
Again, Tracy Claeys is one of the guys he talked about as one of the future stars of this program. Just a freshman. 2 great returns on the day. Remember, he had the great breakup in the end zone on the pass drive. Keontae Harden, a good day for a true freshman. Shannon Brooks aiming to got to get their freshman running back number 27 back involved in this game.
82 yards on 9 carries in the first half. They go to the I formation with Thomas at fullback. Here's Brooks. Maybe a 2-yard gain to the 20. We mentioned this in the first half when Leidner pulled away from Tony Dungy, but Leidner now moving up the all-time list in several categories, but breaking a tie with your former coach.
A great coach, love Tony Dungy. I always think he doesn't get enough credit for, everybody talks how good of a guy he is and everything, which is true, but doesn't get enough credit for how good of a football coach he was. Certainly enjoyed playing for Coach Dungy.
Which went on to play for the Steelers in the NFL. And now off the play fake, rolling to the left. Here comes pressure, another throw into traffic, knocked away, looking for Wolodarski. And again, it's Barton with the coverage, no flag this time, so it'll be 3rd and long. Leidner's a daredevil, so to speak.
He certainly is. We talked about he likes to fit the ball into small windows, but 2 plays in a row, I don't think that's one you want to make there. He's certainly a much more confident quarterback than we saw here a month ago.
So Minnesota was 6 of 8 in 3rd down conversions in the first half. They need to get to the 12.
Rashad Still singled up at the top. He had the big touchdown catch to end the half.
Now they go to the screen to Brooks, well read and dropped.
Who else?
Mason Monheim.
Who else? Mason Monheim, 4-year starting linebacker. He sees those kind of plays in his sleep. Been making a lot of plays for a long time around. He sniffs that one out. They had Still down the sideline, but then they set up the screen. And again, the vision of the linebacker Monheim shuts that play down.
So they send out Santoso for a 41-yard punt. Mortel the holder. Now a 45-yarder. The season long for Santoso is 50. Plenty of leg. And it's drilled. So much for your theory about the cold ball. I mean, these kickers are mocking your theory.
They really are. Again, that ball in these kind of weather conditions just usually hangs in the air and it's not as much air in it. But Minnesota with a nice drive. They have to settle for the field goal, but they now have the 24-20 lead over the Illini.
But a good one right here in Minneapolis between the Gophers and Illinois. Santoso with the kick for the field goal, making it a 24-20 ball game, and now he's on to kick it off. This will be Bentley. And he will not make it to the 20-yard line, so good coverage by the Gophers. 15-yard return. And he'll try to add to that here, but will not. It looked like a very dangerous plant on that left leg as he loses a yard.
Yeah, that's the second time that he's slipped and with that left foot there. The Minnesota's defense closes. There really was just nowhere to go for him. Cody Pope, the linebacker 12, closes fast before the lineman can get on top of him.
2nd and 11 from the 18. That's complete, short of the marker. Looked like Turner making the grab. So his productive afternoon continues as he beat Antonio Johnson on that one for a gain of 9. Now it's 3rd and manageable.
We have a new star in the making in Malik Turner around Illinois. He has been everywhere today.
Now Allison and Kane to the right, Turner and Taylor to the left, Ferguson in the backfield. Now motion. Crossing route. He waited for the man to come open, and then Allison gets drilled. It's a 1st down, but Geronimo Allison leveled by Duke McGee. No flag for targeting. I'm not saying there should be, I'm just saying there isn't. 4 yards, and Allison able to get up.
At first look at it, I didn't see a helmet involved in it. No, actually he did. He certainly did.
Now the question is he defenseless? That's certainly to the neck or head area, but you could say he had enough time to brace for contact. I'm just to say that maybe he wasn't a defenseless receiver.
Forceful contact to the head or neck area, but looks like they won't call it.
2 backs here with Lunt. Reverse, and it looks like he's going to throw. The freshman knocked away by Duke McGee.
Duke McGee is all over the place today.
So Desmond Kane, recruited as a defensive back, was going to be a quarterback on that one, and Duke McGee knocked it away.
Duke McGee just has 13 career tackles on the season coming in, but he's made play after play. This one a big one as they try.
He probably did Illinois a favor knocking that one away, because Kane was throwing that into double coverage. So they try the trickery to start the drive. Now it's 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. Screen isn't there, so they throw deep. And they say it's a catch. Now they're going to talk it over. A catch. Geronimo Allison back out on the field and keeping his feet in bounds.
And here's the question. As he caught that ball, was his left foot, did it get a little bit of white chalk?
Well, Lunt's going to try to snap this as quickly as possible. They just showed it on the big board.
I think it's,
I don't know. Now Lunt looking deep for Kane, overshoots him. And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. So Minnesota looking to snap a 4-game losing streak. Illinois looking to get above 500, and everyone looking to stay warm. It's been an entertaining first 45 minutes. We're back for the 4th quarter from Minnesota after this. Numbers are fired up and leading by 4 heading into the 4th quarter. Passionate crowd here on hand at TCF Bank Stadium, which is something you have to give Jerry Kill a ton of credit for, firing up this fan base. But right now they're looking for a stop from the defense as Wes Lunt has Illinois in Minnesota territory to start the 4th quarter. Facing a 2nd and 10 from the 37. You see Illinois dominating things here in the 3rd quarter, but still trailing. And he runs over Antonio Johnson for the 1st down. Sophomore out of Peoria having a day.
And that was the running back and the safety in the hole at the same time, and Foster took Antonio Johnson for a bit of a ride.
He stays out there, and now they're going to give him a fullback for a little bit of help. Nathan Eckerd. They give it to Foster. He'll follow Eckerd and then make a cut. Poke with another tackle.
Power play. They pull the offensive lineman Chris O'Connor, get the fullback. Old school football.
Now Ferguson back out there on 2nd and 7 from the Minnesota 22. Certainly Illinois has dominated play here in the 2nd half, but they're still trailing. The field goal for Minnesota set up by the long return and the pass interference penalty. That's the difference right now.
Lunt checking the play at the line of scrimmage.
Looking for Turner, single coverage.
Son.
He never saw it. And Body Calhoun had pretty decent coverage as well, but Turner had no idea where that ball was, so now it's going to be 3rd and long. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, Iowa pulling away from Purdue 33-13. Michigan with the ball and an 8-point lead at Penn State early in the fourth quarter at Happy Valley. But now here, 3rd and 7 in field goal range.
And if you're Lunt, you don't want to do anything to the top of the screen toward the top of the field with the way that sun's been affecting throws. Look for something either over the middle or toward the bottom of your screen.
That's where the two kids are, Turner and Kane, in the stack. But they're going to run it to Ferguson, and he gets close but short. An interesting call there, Rocky, the 3-yard gain on 3rd and 7, and they'll send out the kicking team.
Interesting call for sure. Figured they would put that ball in the air there. Ferguson, he's fumbling, stumbling forward, trying to pick it up, but they'll settle for the field goal. Still plenty of time. We'll take the points. Zaleski
for a 36-yarder. He's already hit from 23 and 44 to make it a 1-point game with under 7 minutes to play. Bullseye. So again, Illinois able to move the ball, but not able to punch it in. So they settle for the 3. Coach Cubitt's club within 1. Back to Minnesota after this. Welcome back to TCF Bank Stadium. Taylor Zaleski with his 3rd field goal of the afternoon, pulling Illinois within 1 of Minnesota. And the Minnesota offense has grown stagnant here in the second half, and you wonder if that played, how big a factor that was in Coach Cubitt's decision to really sort of play for the field goal there, Rocky, with 3rd and long.
Their defense certainly coming up big.
And they go for the squib to keep it away from Harden, but it ends up in his hands anyway. And he gets out to about the 26-yard line, but that's some respect for the freshman out of Missouri. Off the play fake. And that's complete to Wolotarski. So that's a 1st down for Minnesota. Out to the 38.
Great job. Really just a one-man route. They really sold that run. And Wolotarski's the only receiver that came out for the pass. Good job. He sticks the foot in the ground, comes back to the football. Way to start a drive for Minnesota.
Now Brooks, driven back by Fedulum. That was running into a brick wall. 2-yard gain.
Man, it's a great job of filling him. Fedulum is 9 yards deep. Sees Brooks in the hole, which is Brooks, as we've seen today, Eamon, is not an easy guy to take down, especially with a lot of space around him. Good job filling by number 20.
Minnesota certainly deja vu all over again for the Gophers here. They have been down this road before. Screen to Brooks. Again, he runs right into Fedulum. So those two getting well acquainted here this afternoon to pick up a 3. So again, you mentioned Matt Limegrover, the offensive coordinator, having to make decisions and play calls on 3rd down. Here he is again. What's your bread and butter right now if you're Minnesota?
I think you're right now. Shannon Brooks has been your bread and butter, but I don't know if you have the confidence to hand it to him on 3rd and 6 right here.
Tight formation. Knocked away. What a play. Fedulum all over that drive. Looking for Lingen. I don't even know if he would have gotten to the 1st down if he made the grab, but textbook coverage by Fedulum.
Excellent play. Fedulum, savvy vet, knows they're going to go toward the way of Brandon Lingen, breaks on the football, comes across, doesn't commit the penalty. Excellent play.
Again, you talk about game management, for lack of a better term. Bill Cubitt runs the ball on 3rd and long, plays for the field goal, trusting his defense to get the ball back.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job of stopping Minnesota all half. He has confidence in him again. Certainly helps when you have number 20 out there.
You want to be first team all Big Ten, send that tape to the league office
right.
And the other coaches. Looked like Taylor almost got to it. No fair catch signal made by Bentley. And he gets away from the first man. but he will not get outside. Was that Devondre Campbell on special teams? It was. 26 with the tackle. So Illinois on the road, down 1 with the ball back when we return to Minneapolis. Welcome back to Minnesota, and with the seasons these two clubs have been having, you shouldn't be surprised that it's coming down to the wire. Wes Lunt and the Illinois offense taking over on its own 16. A field goal for the lead. They've been down this road before. Both teams have. Off the play fake and the pump, the double move. Incomplete. Looking for Taylor.
Who else? Duke McGee in coverage. He's been huge. Tried a bit of a double move. Half-field safety McGee had a long way to go. Great job closing on that football, knocking it loose.
Now they run it to Ferguson, and he has an alley. The first down. Tackled in the open field by Antonio Johnson, but that hole opened up quickly.
Well, and again, we've talked about throughout the course of this game the lack of depth for Minnesota's defensive line. Here we are now in the 4th quarter. Already got some backups in there. They try a little bit of a twist stunt in a perfect play call in a perfect situation for Illinois.
Now off the play fake, Kane makes the grab for a short gain. Looked like that ball was deflected at the line.
Yeah.
But it got through to the freshman out of Florida. 3-yard pickup. And now the clock starts moving again.
I think Illinois would love to find Malik Turner for a nice chunk yardage play here.
2nd and 7 from the 31. Lunt to his left. Goes out to Taylor. Harden with the tackle short of the first down. So now it's Illinois' turn to come up with a critical 3rd down after the 4-yard pickup.
Well, when they've been running the ball well, I think you got to have confidence in Justin Ferguson here.
And then 2 timeouts left. And the man wide open, and it's Turner. So 5-yard pickup gives Illinois a new set of downs to work with. What a ball game from Malik Turner. Already in career highs with catches and yards. 9 grabs, 106 yards, and the touchdown. Pressure up the middle. Too far for Allison. Good coverage by Body Calhoun.
Trying to get Geronimo Allison involved in this game. Top wide receiver.
Minnesota looking to snap a 4-game losing streak, looking to pick up career win number 1 for Tracy Claeys as head coach. Illinois looking to get above 500. Eamon McEnany along with Rocky Boyman. We're heating up. We're at 25 degrees, but Illinois hoping Wes Lunt can heat up on this drive on 2nd and 10. Here comes pressure off the edge, and he goes down. Julian Huff with the sack.
And even the offensive line for Minnesota's turnaround looked like there was some confusion there. Austin Schmidt, the left tackle, did not pick up number 20 until it was too late. Comes forward and gets the sack.
A huge play, a loss of 11. They're 8 of 15 on 3rd down here this afternoon, but this is the toughest task for sure.
And Malik Turner having a big day. He's man-to-man covered by the freshman Keontae Harden at the bottom of the screen.
Taylor in the slot to the right. Ferguson in the backfield. Again, Huff showing pressure off the edge. And they go to the screen. So they do go conservative. And they're going to give it back to Minnesota with under 3 minutes to play in the game. So it's all on the Illinois defense now. Not what you would have called, I imagine.
Not what I would have called. I think it was a little too safe, a little too conservative. I think you try to go find your receivers having a heck of a day.
Maybe that's what Coach Cubit's saying, telling his quarterback there as well. So now Frayne on to kick. Keontae Harden, who has been a major factor in both the return game and in the secondary, back to receive. And a low line drive punt. Harden makes the fair catch at the Minnesota 23. So now Mitch Leidner and the Minnesota offense looking to run this one into the win column for Coach Clays and the Gophers.
And we've talked about since Coach Clays have taken over, really hit the buzzsaw of their schedule. Michigan, Ohio State, then Iowa last week, all really losses that came in the late in the fourth quarter. Minnesota trying to close one out and get that win, get one step closer to getting bowl eligible.
And really, again, with Illinois down to one timeout left, you really probably just need to get one first down. I formation to Brooks. Monheim for the tackle. 2-yard gain. When does Coach Cubitt take that timeout? Try to bait Minnesota into throwing the ball and maybe stopping it themselves with an incomplete pass.
Minnesota's offense certainly in no hurry.
They're in no rush on normal. They like to huddle up and talk things over.
Right, but I imagine Mr. Leidner won't snap this football until that play clock gets under 5.
Brooks on the cusp of a 100-yard day. 99 yards on 16 carries. I'd certainly love for him to run for at least 9 more. They snap it with 2 on the play clock, right back to Brooks. And he could run this one out right here. He will go 75 yards. That should do it. Maybe not when you do the math.
I'll tell you what, Eamon, Illinois' defense knew they needed to stop. One more first down might have done it in terms of the clock ticking away. Sold out, putting them extra defenders in that box. But Shannon Brooks, he's done so many times, he finds that crease and then the speed to get to the house for the touchdown.
Now that is a career-long run and touchdown run. He had a 71-yard run earlier in his freshman campaign, but that one's 75 yards. And you wonder if he should have taken a knee at the 1. Now it looks like they're going to go for 2 here to make that conversation moot. This is very interesting. You are opening the door for a second guess if you don't get it. And Leidner, doesn't matter. The conversation's over. It's now a 2-possession game. So Tracy Clays, the math major, loves to talk about the logic and the chess match. And he played math there.
I mean, why you don't choose to just go up 4 in that situation?
Well, okay, so here's the math. But Leidner, let's talk about how they were able to get it in first.
Reggie, they faked the jet sweep. They pulled the lineman around, and Leidner a good job of just finding the crease and hitting it.
So here, if you don't get it, you're putting the onus, A, on Illinois to score, but then does Bill Cubitt go for 2 and the win in regulation? The worst you're thinking you can do here is end up in overtime.
Right.
You can either end the game, go up 9, or risk overtime.
Well, then, as you said, though, Tracy Clays, the math major in college, does the quick math in his head, and a great play call.
But
and that's important. You know, usually a coach steps down in the middle of the season, as Jerry Kill did, for health reasons. You know, the coaches, maybe they've been a bunch of different places. They don't have that continuity, but this staff has been together, some of them for 20 years. Certainly helps in changing the guy at the helm.
And they've certainly changed the culture here at Minnesota and established, winning feeling. So why go away from that just to go look for that up-and-comer that might work when you know you have a staff here that does work? And so now Wes Lunt and the Illini need to score twice with just the 1 timeout left. Complete to Turner for the first down. And again, one play that cannot be overlooked was that sack by Julian Huff on 2nd and 10, forcing 3rd and 21. Completely changed the complexion of that drive.
Well, it was. And again, as I said, it was some sort of miscommunication on the offensive line, because the left tackle, Austin Schmidt, at the last second realized he should have came out on the blitzing safety, who created the critical lost yardage.
Now Ferguson on the screen will not get away from Celestine. Remember, that was very similar to the play they ran on 3rd and 21.
Celestine tackling, keeping them in field, keeping that clock running.
.50 seconds left and counting. Taylor inbounds. Gets out of bounds. Looked like he was going to be tripped up inbounds by Body Calhoun, but he gets to the white after a gain of 7. So a losing streak that started with the Nebraska game here on October 17th. And then Body Calhoun knocks that one away. Jerry Kill stepping down due to health reasons after that game. They had to rally for Coach Clays against Michigan, and boy, did that one end in disappointment and heartbreak. Yeah. You have to give these players credit and this coaching staff credit. They've kept fighting.
Again, especially for all those things that happen. Kill goes down, or you know, wind up stepping down, all the injuries. And a tough part of the schedule. Looking to close it out here.
But Illinois won't go quietly. They get the first down on 4th and 6. What an afternoon for Malik Turner. 9 more yards and another catch. Now the clock continues to tick after they set the chains. Lunt out of the pocket. He's going to run out of bounds after he gets the first down. So you wonder now, do you start thinking a quick 3 and go to the onside kick? So obviously you want to take care of the touchdown first, but you have a good kicker. Not here.
Well, yeah, you know,
it'd be a 56-yarder, but
yeah,
just
you
wondering
need
if
2
that factors
scores,
in the
so
play.
usually you take the higher percentage one, then try to get the onside kick, and they may have enough time for a Hail Mary.
Minnesota's trying to bait you into. Oh, geez, Ferguson can't handle it, and that's your ball game. They actually try the easy play, and they cough it up. Go figure.
Wow.
And it's Huff on the recovery, the guy who came up with the huge sack on the last drive. And that pretty much sums it all for Coach Cubitt. 3rd Illinois turnover of the game, and Minnesota's going to stop the bleeding at home.
Yeah, they try to go for the easy play to possibly set up something. Was the ball maybe a little bit high?
He never had his...
It looked like his arms were turned the wrong way, or his left elbow was coming up. His Lunt was trying to put that ball into the spot. Yeah, Ferguson, his hands weren't ready to accept the football.
So what a moment for Coach Clays and his staff and these players. So their head coach stepped down due to health reasons, and now they come from behind and gut it out here in the second half against a game Illinois team.
It's an important win for this football team. They go through the situation with the head coach stepping down. Tough part of the schedule. 3 really hard losses to great teams the last 3 weeks. They have to gut this one out, but they get the victory, and that's their 5th win next week versus one of their arch rivals, Wisconsin, to possibly get that 6th win and get bowl eligible.
So Julian Huff had the sack and then picked up the fumble to end it. Minnesota holds on in the second half. Illinois gave them all they could handle, but they win it. It was an entertaining back and forth affair, but the young kids led the way for Minnesota. They improve to 5 and 6 on the season. For Rocky Boyman and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Eamon McEnany saying so long from Minnesota.